That is just absolutely gorgeous. This is what my life is all about. It's meat that looks like this, smells like this, the caramelization of the fat, even the drips. That's just goodness coming off the meat. That's meat heaven. I'm an author, I'm a celebrity chef, I'm a product development chef, I'm a professor, and I'm a lover of food and everything barbecue. Oh yeah. My latest book, Gastro Grilling, it was so much fun to write. I think what makes my book successful is that people get to know a little bit about Ted Reader and that they know that my recipes work and they know that my recipes are going to be delicious. Hi, I'm Chef Ted Reader, Godfather of the Grill, and you can ask me anything.
Everyone wants to know if I'm single?
Ask me anything.
Ask me anything.
Ask me.
Ask me.
You can ask me anything.
Here at Casa Barbecue, we have a lot of different types of grills and smokers. This is my backyard, my test kitchen, my barbecue paradise, my wife's nemesis. I guess the best way to put it. We had 109 grills and smokers back here at one time, but I purged. So this back area is what I call the graveyard, or not used that often. We have a pellet smoker by Traeger, and we got a Bradley smoker by Bradley. This is one of my favorite pieces of equipment in my backyard. It's a Zafiro, or a Palazzetti, and it's an open hearth and pizza oven. So you can do pizzas up here, you can roast fish or chicken or potatoes and vegetables. And down here there's a grill that fits in, and you can grill steaks on it or pork chops, or you can just sit in front of the open fire, and it's always nice just to toast some marshmallows with the kids. And this is my wheelbarrow, and it's actually, I don't use it for moving dirt, I use it to grill on. I learned how to grill on a wheelbarrow filled with charcoal with my dad. And so this is sort of a memory of him and what we put together. Fill it with charcoal, and then put a rack over top, and we cook. And that's my wheelbarrow grill. There used to be, right here where the kids' play area was, there was a giant fire pit. And when I had kids, it had to go. This is a Napoleon Gemini gas grill. It's my only gas grill in the property. It's natural gas. It has an infrared sear burner that gets up to like 1800 degrees. And I can grill, and I can even smoke on it. It can do charcoal. It's an amazing machine for a gas grill. It's awesome. And then we have a big smoker there, an offset stick burner barrel smoker here. We've got a couple of big green eggs. Over here we have my grillery. It's a hardwood fired charcoal grill. So we take the logs, we burn them to coals, and then we start to cook, and we can raise it and lower it. This is my fire pit. Some students and a buddy of mine from Winnipeg made this grill, so it's called Ted's World Famous Barbecue, and it's my fire pit on my deck. And my friend Blake Carson, this is a Carson Rodizio, so it gives us that Brazilian style churrasco cooking. So we've got some picanha, some Oktoberfest sausage, and some bacon wrapped chicken thighs going there. It takes a little bit longer, but you don't want to rush it. You miss out on the experience. You miss out on the aroma. That's the big thing. That gets you hungry. That gets you drooling. That gets you salivating. One of the most important things when you come into grilling or smoking, for grilling, high heat lid open, low heat lid closed. If you're going to smoke, lid closed, low temperature. If you go to a Brazilian steakhouse, they take this and then they slice it. Oh man. The X-rated version of this show, that's good. Okay, that is everything, like right here. They cut it thin, and you just shave it, And then that's it. And then what you do is you go and you put it back on the grill. Right? Let it continue. When you're done eating that, you start all over again. And so you take the next one. Let's take a sausage. Now you got all your sausages here, right? It's a sausage. You want to just eat them and enjoy them. And so you take a sausage off, put it back on the spit. What are your favorite vegetarian barbecue dishes? This is what I call a vegetarian for real people. People that eat meat but say, oh, I'd eat that. That's all vegetables? That looks really good. Hi, I'm Chef Ted Reeder, Godfather of the Grill, and you can ask me anything. Hey Ted, I'm a vegetarian, don't hurt me. But I want good barbecue. What are your favorite vegetarian barbecue dishes? One of my favorite recipes that I've been doing, and yes, I do vegetarian, is my vegetarian burgers. And these burgers are made from some quinoa, and I have some black mixed with some white quinoa here. It's fully cooked. There's about 3 to 4 cups in here. Into this mixture, we're gonna add some white navy beans, and I've soaked these overnight and then brought them to a boil and got them to be nice and tender, but not really mushy so that you still have a little bit of texture in there. So you're gonna add the beans in. I've got some green onion in here, just like that, some fresh green onion. I've got 1 sweet onion that I've diced, just like that. Now, we're gonna add in about 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. So this is not a vegan recipe, this is a vegetarian recipe. And you gently fold that together. You look at that and you say, hey, that's looking pretty good. Looks pretty tasty. I might even enjoy that. Of course you're gonna enjoy this. It's got cheese in it. How can it not be good? And I take, and you can see it's still frozen. This is frozen spinach, or you could use kale or collard greens, but it's about 2 full cups worth packed. And you still want it to be a little bit frozen because you want a little bit of moisture in this mix. 1 egg, crack it open. A little bit of ranch dressing. Good old ranch dressing, straight out of the refrigerator, about 1/4 cup. Now we've got about 250 grams worth of goat's cheese, and we're gonna crumble this all up. Notice I'm wearing gloves because you have to get your hands in there and get a little bit sticky. Salt and pepper, my little seasoning mix that I do. And be generous, you want to add a lot of flavor into this. Now, start to mix it up. And if you can, mix with 1 hand and just kind of take that goat's cheese and soften it and squish it in your hand so that it blends with everything and the quinoa and the beans. And you kind of pull it up and squeeze it. Get that goat's cheese everywhere. If you don't like goat's cheese, you can try any other kind of cheese you want. You could even replace it with just a little bit of cream cheese. That mix is pretty good, but it's still too wet to be a burger. The next part. This crushed up Doritos, corn chips, cheesy corn chips, about 2 cups worth. So this is what I call a vegetarian for real people. People that eat meat but say, oh, I'd eat that. That's all vegetables? That looks really good. So, real vegetarian. Fun stuff. And if you didn't want to put the Doritos in there, you could use like a potato chip or a hickory stick, all kinds of different things. Popcorn would work as well, even breadcrumbs, but they have no flavor. And there we have our mixture. Now let's take it to the grill. So here, we're gonna cook these burgers on stone. This is soapstone. This is a little bit too wet and too mushy to be a regular burger that you would form into a patty. And when it comes to the stones, what's really amazing about this stone is it really is just like a big frying pan. Only when it comes to wintertime grilling, when the gas grills are going through a ton of fuel to try and keep this whole unit hot, These stones absorb the heat, so you can be cooking out here in minus 35, freezing away, but those stones are going to be nice and warm. And I've got the burners underneath set at about medium heat right now. I would say these stones are about 500 degrees. And I hit it with just a little light coating of non-stick spray. If you want to use olive oil or vegetable oil on a cloth, you can, but that's really just straight and simple. Then we take our vegetable burger and we scoop. And you got these nice little balls. Take a spatula. Little trick. Spray your spatula with non-stick, because then you're going to do a little press. And a little press. And a light, gentle little press. Then when you do it again, just wipe it off, and then you're ready to go for the next round. Why is this side done? So that when we go underneath, it's nice and slick and smooth. So then you wait and you watch. And at this point, you would have yourself a beer, a vegetarian beer. Oh, beer is for vegetarians. Who'd have thunk? One of the greatest foods in the world is a vegetable called beer. Well, we got a whole list, but really, a chef's knife, a pair of tongs, a spatula, the injection syringe, a basting brush, a thermometer, a bottle of beer, a shot of bourbon, a good cigar. Yeah, I think that'll about do it. And a grill brush. You need one of those. All right. Look at that right in there. You see how that cheese is all creamy? And look at the underside. Now you can play with them just a little bit more. Oop, that one's a little messy, but it's okay. This is a messy burger. There we go. And then you get yourself a bun, griddle it, toast it warm. You put some tomatoes, some lettuce, maybe some onions on there, right? You could add pickles if you so desire. But the real thing you need to add to it all is bacon. And then that vegetarian burger is complete. For those non-meat eating vegetarians out there, leave out the bacon. How do you cook a brisket on the barbecue? Just a nice and easy smoke ring going around the top there. The moisture of the meat, look at that juiciness coming through it. Oh my God. Some days I just impress myself. Hey Teddy, how do you cook a brisket on the barbecue? You know what, Francois? Watch it right here. How do you cook a brisket on a big green egg? Well, let me tell you, I love my big green egg and I love cooking brisket. And a lot of people find brisket is extremely complicated to cook. It's not. It's actually relatively easy. This one weighs about 14 to 15 pounds. It's a heavy piece of meat. And you can see this nice thick layering of fat on this. And then underneath you've got more fat, and it's beautiful. The other part about the meat is I don't want it really fresh. I want it to be aged a little bit. So I asked my butcher to wet age it or keep it in the bag. And I like it to be about 4 weeks old before I get it, because that's going to allow the meat to be more tender. And that's the key to brisket, is moist, juicy, and tender. So what I do when I get the brisket is I look at the amount of fat on it. If it's got too much fat, I'll take my knife and I'll just trim a little bit of fat off of it. But really this one doesn't need any fat trimmed from it. Then I take a mixture. This is beef stock right in here. And I add about a half a cup of beer to the chef as well. It's very important. Then I take this injection syringe, and you can pick these up at barbecue supply stores or online, and you suck up the beer and the beef stock together. And then you just stick it and inject it. Beef brisket, although there's a fair amount of fat, the meat part of it is pretty lean. And you need to enhance that moisture for a long cook. It is pretty tasty. And so you just go all over the place. Once you have that all injected, we take a mixture of salt and pepper, and this is my mixture. It's salt, pepper, and Aleppo pepper. And you're going to be extremely liberal with this mixture. And you want to put a fair amount of seasoning on this, because this is going to be all that goes on this. Aleppo pepper it's not a spicy pepper. It's got a mild heat to it, but it's a little bit sweet. So I find when it's blended with the salt and with black pepper, it changes the dynamic of the rub. And it's just something I was screwing around and came up with that I enjoyed and thought the flavor was tasty. I ordered online from the spice market. Don't forget the sides. You got to get that seasoning all over the place. And the greatest thing about barbecue is you do this outside, then your spouse doesn't get mad at you for dirtying up the kitchen and getting salt all over the floor. And so you rub it in. Now I'll show you how to set up the big green egg for smoking. I've smoked rice, I've smoked hemp seeds, I've smoked chocolate, I've smoked vanilla, tomatoes, onions, garlic. I've smoked potatoes. I've made ice cream where the milk has been smoked. I've smoked water to make into smoked ice cubes. But the bubble gum was by far the worst thing ever. And there's only one word to describe it. It was So when it comes to cooking on a big green egg, it's all about time and temperature. Number one is the temperature. You want to keep it between 200 and 235 degrees. So what we have inside here to smoke the brisket is you have right here in the bottom is a bowl filled with charcoal. And once you get it going, you're going to use this damper on the bottom, and up here on the top is also a damper. Once you've got that charcoal going, you have to put what's called a plate setter inside the egg. This diffuses the heat. So it suppresses the amount of heat, and there's space around it that allows for the heat to come up and the smoke to come up. And so you need to have this plate setter in there to have that control of the temperature at 225 to 235. So we're gonna pop it open now. There you go, look at that. This brisket's been in here for about 14 hours. And this is the key. Temperature was that 225, 235 range. But the key is your thermometer. So you want to put that into the meat and look at it. That's the perfect spot. It's done. You're looking for that 190, 195 range if you want to slice that brisket, and anything above 203 degrees to 206 degrees, 7 degrees, and this will just melt in your mouth like butter. And this is the best part of it, is when you don't even need a knife. Look at this, it just peels. Oh my God. Some days I just impress myself. Look at this. Just a nice and easy smoke ring going around the top there. The moisture of the meat, look at that juiciness coming through it. A lot of guys will take this and they'll smoke it, and they'll partway through they'll wrap it in aluminum foil or in plastic wrap. There's no need for all of that. If you monitor the internal temperature of your brisket, you will always have a moist and juicy brisket. Don't buy lean brisket. Make sure there's enough external fat to keep it moist and succulent, and the injection of the beer and the beef broth really helps. So this smoked for about 14 hours. And to do a brisket that's 14 to 15 pounds is going to take about £1 pound an hour. You're going to have to monitor your smoker. You're going to have to tend to it. You might have to get out of bed in the middle of the night to ensure that it's all working properly. And refuel as you need, adjust the dampers as you need. There's apparatuses that you can buy. One's called a barbecue guru. It fits right down here. It's a fan. And when the temperature of the smoker drops too low, the fan kicks in to ignite the charcoal and keep it going. Deliciousness every time if you've got the patience. Optimus Prime is my fire truck. And A few years ago, my business partners for my 50th birthday gave me this fire truck. And things not to do when you're drinking in Banff, Alberta is say you want a fire truck for your birthday. Optimus Prime is my fire truck. And a few years ago, my business partners for my 50th birthday gave me this fire truck. And things not to do when you're drinking in Banff, Alberta is say you want a fire truck for your birthday. This is George Chor. George is the owner of Creator, custom motorcycles and choppers and things, and Optimus Prime. And I had this vision of putting together a beer and barbecue truck, and I gave George a 2 to 3 page list of what I'd like to see in the fire truck. Four page. And he put it together with that vision, and pretty excited to have Optimus up and running and serving great food to everybody that wants to have some. It's a beer and barbecue event machine.
You know, I like the fact that it's all one package does everything. It covers your audio, it covers your beer, it covers your barbecue, your smoker, and you know, and the presents. It's just it's like a package that covers your full-on entertainment center.
Don't forget the televisions.
And the televisions.
And the televisions.
Correct.
So like, and it is a party on wheels, and it can serve 2 people, or it can serve 2,000, 10,000. We can bang it out. We love to play, and we love to cook with it and get it out there and see what events we can do. Oh, it's a party machine. It's a party. It's a good fun thing to have happen. Now our twisted little minds are looking at other things like converting Vespas and motorcycles. I've done a lot of cool things in my career. I've traveled the world, I've cooked in weird places. I've cooked for some fun people and celebrities and this and that, and worked on a race car team. Had a ball my entire career. But the greatest achievement of my life are those 2 little kids, and that's the best part. There's nothing better. It doesn't matter how good that brisket is, those 2 kids and my wife having a smile, that's all that I need. So I'm happy. Not everybody does what I do, and I don't expect them to do. All I want to do is get them inspired to get into their own backyards and fire up their gas grill or their charcoal smoker, or fire it up and cook something different. Don't always do that same old. Experiment and play, and start with those ingredients of wood and fire, and that will build the foundation for deliciousness. Have fun every day, live it, enjoy it, and remember, when it's grilling, don't push it, don't squish it, don't touch it. Every time you want to go near it, have a sip of beer instead.